All right, let's dive in. Today, we're heading over to India to check out their gaming
The
scene.
gaming scene in India.
Yeah, it seems to be like really blowing up right now.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got an awesome source to help us break it all down.
Oh.
It's a document called Gaming Blueprint, and it's put together by Bloom Ventures.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're a venture capital firm that's like right in the thick of it in India.
Venture capitalists. So they're the ones looking to, like, place bets on the future of gaming.
Exactly. They're trying to figure out, what's hot, what's not, where the money's going.
Smart.
Yeah.
So what does this gaming blueprint tell us?
Well, first of all, get ready for some big numbers.
All right, I love big numbers.
They're projecting that this market, the Indian gaming market, is going to like triple in size by 2027.
Triple. Wow.
Yeah, and hit a massive $8.6 billion.
That's huge. But wait, I thought India was still, like, catching up in the global gaming scene.
Well, that's the thing. They are kind of, but they're only capturing a tiny sliver of the global gaming revenue right now.
Interesting. So they've got huge potential, but haven't quite hit the big leagues yet.
Yeah, exactly. They've actually got the second largest gaming population in the entire world.
Seriously. Second largest.
568 million gamers.
Whoa. That's mind-blowing. And most of them are playing on mobile, right?
You got it. A staggering 90% are all about those mobile games.
Mobile gaming dominance. It's like everyone in India has a portable arcade in their pocket.
Right. It's like the perfect storm for mobile gaming over there.
So tons of players, huge growth potential, but still a relatively small slice of the global revenue pie.
Yeah, and that's where things get a bit puzzling. You see, India might be leading when it comes to game downloads, but they're behind when you look at actual revenue.
So lots of people are playing games, but not necessarily spending a lot of money on them.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Why do you think that is? Is it like a cultural thing or maybe something to do with payment systems?
Well, Bloom Ventures seems to think it has a lot to do with the kinds of games that are popular in India right now.
What do you mean?
They see a big difference between what they call real money games, the RMGs,
Okay, RMGs.
and other game genres.
So, like, what are we talking about here? What exactly are RMGs?
Things like fantasy sports, online card games.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
Gotcha. So those are raking in the cash right now.
Yeah, they're dominating the revenue stream.
But Gaming Blueprint is predicting a shift, right? Like things are going to change.
Yeah, they are. They're forecasting a move towards more in-app purchases
IUPs.
for non-RMG games.
Okay, so people spending money on like extra lives, cool skins, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Interesting. So what's driving this shift, do you think?
Well, they point to younger generations of gamers.
Makes sense. They're probably more used to like microtransactions and that whole world.
Yeah, and also successful games like BGMI.
Oh yeah, BGMI.
Yeah.
Huge over there.
Which have shown that Indian gamers are, like, totally willing to pay for a really good gaming experience.
So it's almost like the market's maturing, right? Moving away from those quick wins to like deeper, more immersive games.
That's exactly what it seems like. And Gaming Blueprint actually has a whole framework for understanding all this.
Oh yeah. Tell me more.
They call it the game design formula.
Yeah, okay. A game design formula.
Yeah, it's basically their way of dissecting games, analyzing them, figuring out what makes them tick.
Okay. Like breaking down the ingredients for success in the Indian gaming scene.
Yeah, exactly. They look at the gameplay mechanics, the genre, how it's distributed, how they make money, and probably most importantly, how they keep players hooked.
So it's not just about making a fun game, it's about the whole package.
Yeah, the whole experience. And speaking of hooked, we kind of have to address the elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room.
Or maybe I should say the smartphone in every hand.
Ah, mobile gaming.
Exactly. Mobile gaming is just king in India. It reigns supreme.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
It's accessible, affordable, and it's like a global trend, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's glued to their phones these days.
Totally. And Bloom Ventures actually sees this as a huge opportunity for Indian developers.
How so?
They think they can create games not just for India, but for the whole world.
So they're not just playing catch-up, they're actually in a position to, like, become trendsetters.
Absolutely.
That's pretty exciting. So what kind of games are we talking about? What are Indian developers focusing on?
Well, Gaming Blueprint actually dives into different types of mobile games, breaking them down by genre.
Oh, cool. Let's hear it.
Starting with casual games.
Casual games.
It's a quick, easy to pick up and play kind of game.
Yeah. Perfect for mobile.
Right. What's their take on those?
What do they say about casual games in India?
They think there's a big need for a platform that, like, brings together all these indie developers,
I see, I see.
gives
Yeah.
them more visibility.
Yeah, because discoverability is like the biggest hurdle for indie developers.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also helps them with a better revenue sharing model.
So strength in numbers, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're competing for attention in such a crowded market.
Exactly. It's like creating a launch pad for all this indie talent.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea.
And a one-stop shop for casual gamers who are looking for the next big thing.
I like it. But what about the games that demand a bit more commitment? What about the mid-core market? What does Gaming Blueprint say about those mid-core games in India?
Yeah, the games that are like a step up from casual.
A little more meat on the bones.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're invested, you're playing regularly, but it's not like your whole life.
Right, right. So what does Bloom Ventures say about those?
Well, for mid-core games, they really stress the importance of having strong social features.
Makes sense. You got to keep people engaged, connected with their friends.
Yeah, make it a shared experience.
Uh-huh.
And they also talk about live operations, keeping the game fresh with constant updates and events.
Oh, yeah. Got to keep that content pipeline flowing.
Right. And of course, a rock-solid retention strategy.
Retention, retention, retention. The holy grail of game development.
Totally. It's all about building a community and keeping those players engaged.
Yeah, not just for days or weeks, but for months, years even.
Long term. They actually suggest that in-app purchases that act as status symbols within the game.
Oh, interesting.
Like unique cosmetics or skins.
Yeah.
That those are going to be key for monetization.
Because people are willing to pay to stand out, to show off their achievements.
It's just like a blend of social status and the thrill of the game.
Totally. But how do you keep players hooked in the long term? Like, what's the secret sauce?
Well, Gaming Blueprint points to well-designed player matching algorithms as a critical factor.
That makes sense.
Nobody wants to get stomped by unbeatable opponents all the time.
No fun in that.
Or steamroll through easy matches.
Right. You need that sweet spot, that balance.
Yeah. Where skill and strategy are rewarded.
A balanced playing field makes a huge difference.
Totally. So it's not just about having cool graphics or fancy features. It's about understanding player psychology.
Yeah, and crafting an experience that keeps them coming back for more.
Exactly. But what about the players who want, a truly immersive experience?
The hardcore gamer.
The hardcore gamers, yeah. The ones who live and breathe AAA titles.
Right, the ones who want to lose themselves in another world.
Exactly. What does Bloom Ventures recommend for those?
For those players, Gaming Blueprint says you got to go big or go home.
Go big or go home, okay.
They emphasize 3 key things: compelling narratives, seamless integration with eSports, and savvy influencer marketing.
Okay, break that down for me.
So first, you need a story that grabs players, something that pulls them in and makes them care about the world you've created.
Yeah, a narrative that resonates.
Right. Then you got to tap into that competitive spirit, that desire to test your skills against the best.
eSports.
Exactly. Esports is huge and is only getting bigger.
And finally, you need to get the word out, generate hype, make sure everyone's talking about your game.
Influencer marketing.
Influencer marketing. Get those big names streaming your game, showing it off to their millions of followers.
It's all about building a world around the game, creating a buzz that draws players in.
It's about creating a sense of belonging, tapping into that competitive spirit, giving players a reason to brag about their achievements.
Exactly. But Gaming Blueprint actually throws out another really intriguing idea.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
They talk about an India console.
Wait, a console specifically for the Indian market?
That's the idea. Now, that's a bold concept, right?
Okay, now I'm really interested.
Yeah, me too. So in part 3, we're going to dive into what this India console could actually look like.
Okay.
And what it might mean for the future of gaming in India and maybe even beyond.
I'm hooked. Let's do it. Okay, so we've talked about explosive growth, mobile gaming taking over, and even this wild idea of an India console. But now it's time to talk about the real game changer, AI.
Ah, yes, AI, artificial intelligence. Bloom Ventures, they dedicate a big chunk of Gaming Blueprint to AI.
Yeah, they do. They even suggest that we're going to start seeing AI-first developers.
AI-first developers. So AI is not just like a tool in the toolbox. It's going to be like the foundation.
Yeah, the core of game development.
Wow, that's a big shift.
It really is. What do you think that even looks like?
Well, they imagine AI tools streamlining the entire process.
Okay.
Like imagine scripting assistants.
Scripting assistants.
Yeah, to help write dialogue.
Oh, wow.
Or like automated testing platforms that can catch bugs way faster.
That would be awesome.
Right. And then there's the big one, procedural content generation.
Oh, I've heard of that.
So AI basically creating vast game worlds
Like on its own.
with minimal human input.
So it's like giving developers superpowers.
Exactly. And Bloom Ventures, they're especially excited about what this means for like smaller studios.
Yeah, how so?
They think AI could really level the playing field, give indie developers a chance to compete with the big guys.
So more creativity, more innovation, more games for everyone.
Exactly. But AI isn't just changing how games are made, it's also changing the games themselves.
Yeah, Gaming Blueprint actually mentioned something about never-ending games.
Never-ending games.
Like, is that even possible?
It sounds crazy, right? But they're basically talking about games that are constantly evolving and adapting,
Okay.
driven by AI that learns from players and creates new content, like on the fly.
So the game changes as you play it.
Yeah, imagine a world that reacts to your every decision, where the story never really ends.
That's wild. I mean, it sounds amazing, but do you think, like, players are ready for that?
It's a good question, right? It could be overwhelming for some people.
Yeah, like too much freedom, too many choices.
Exactly. But AI's impact goes beyond creating these massive, ever-changing worlds.
Okay, how so?
It can also make games incredibly personal. Yeah, imagine a game that adapts to your individual play style, your preferences.
Like it knows what I like.
Exactly. It knows what you like, what you're good at, even your mood.
Oh, okay. How does it do that?
Gaming Blueprint talks about the power of AI-driven analytics.
Analytics.
Yeah, so AI basically analyzes how you play the game,
Okay.
and then it uses that data to optimize the game design, fine-tune how they make money, even predict when you might be getting bored.
So it's like a virtual game master, constantly tweaking the experience to keep you hooked.
Exactly. They even suggest that AI could create these dynamic difficulty systems.
Dynamic difficult.
Yeah, so the game adjusts the challenge in real time based on how you're playing.
So it's always challenging, but never impossible.
Right. That's the power of AI at play. It's like having a personal trainer for your brain.
Wow, that is pretty incredible. So it sounds like Bloom Ventures really believes that AI is going to touch every part of gaming.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they think that India could actually become a global leader in this whole AI-powered game development thing.
Wow, really? That's amazing. Well, it seems like we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into Indian gaming.
We have. From that incredible growth they're experiencing in mobile gaming just being huge there, to that India console concept and AI completely changing the game.
It really does feel like this market is just exploding with potential.
It does. It does. And, Gaming Blueprint is a great resource for anyone who wants to learn more about this fascinating industry.
Absolutely. It's given us so much to think about, the future of gaming in India and just globally.
It really makes you wonder what's next, doesn't it?
It does. So what are your predictions? What do you think is coming next for gaming in India? Let us know what you think. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the heart of Indian gaming.